How are you guys doing? We're back for another episode. We're gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going and going and going and going until they tell us to stop. I don't whoever tells us to stop.
Whoever.
Anyway,
exciting things
are
happening. We have merch.
That's what I was gonna say. Thank you for screaming that to everybody. We have merch. We're actually wearing some right now.
Merch. It's actually for the youth group, but
we have merch.
We have merch.
Yeah. So this hoodie has Forward Youth in the front, and then it has our logo in the back.
This one just has the logo.
Yeah.
Can you even see it?
Yeah.
Let's
Maybe.
Logo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we got
It looks like
hoodies. What? Oh yeah, we got those too. Yeah, it's like
and
that
we have,
logo.
we
Go
have
ahead.
stickers and sweatpants and t-shirts and hoodies and hats and water bottles and slides and
Yes.
bags.
Oh yeah,
We have
the
string bags.
String bags.
all of it will be in our Instagram link tree.
Linktree. Follow us on Instagram as well.
Do it.
And then yeah. So we're here on another episode, and as always, we're
Excited.
excited to talk about
We're
this.
excited.
This week's topic, we're gonna
Ooh.
talk about gossip. Talking.
Gossip.
Gossip,
Gossip.
secrets, everything. Well, secrets. Whoa,
Whoa.
that's a whole other thing. Anyway, so today we're gonna talk about gossip.
Yeah.
And first, what is gossip?
What is gossip?
What is the definition? What does it mean? What does it do? What? I can't English right now. Anyway, my bad. So Julianne,
Felipe.
what is gossip?
I'm okay.
What is gossip to you?
I think gossip is talking about other people behind their back. Could you technically gossip to someone in front of their face, like about them? No, that's just bullying.
That's just slander.
Okay.
Just straight up just slander.
Gossip is talking bad about someone behind their back, spreading rumors, speaking about them in a negative way when they're not around. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, that is a great
It was a great
definition. That is a great. Yeah. The way I think obviously pretty similar to yours. Your definition of gossip.
Yeah.
The way that I think about it is, whatever I'm talking or whatever I'm saying, if it's something negative or it can hurt the person, or also put myself in those shoes of like, if someone was saying this about me, would I be offended? Would I be hurt? Would I be betrayed? That's how I think. And if it falls under any of those categories, then I consider that gossip. And as humans, it's super easy to gossip.
So easy. Everybody does it.
Literally everybody
time.
does it. I don't think people even notice that they do it, because sometimes I don't even notice that I do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just the flow of conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah. So before now we're gonna get into the Bible. I'm sorry. We're gonna get into the Bible, and we're gonna see what gossip means and what we're supposed to do about that. First, we're gonna start in Ephesians. We're gonna start in Ephesians 4:29. And that says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, and as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." So pretty much,
That's pretty much it.
yeah, that's pretty much what we talked about. I mean, it says no corrupting talk. Corrupting is like, bad talk. Something that will bring somebody down, something that will bring somebody down. And then it moves up, but only such as good for building up, which is something that we should be doing. It's building up people, supporting people, and kind of just being there for them. Um, and then that last part where it's as fits the occasion that it may give grace to those who hear. And when the way that I see that is like when when we talk about a certain topic or we talk just pretty much in general to other people is where the way that I understand that is like we either are supposed to be uplifting people by what we say or like anything that's positive, you know. Yes, we're humans and yes, we've all done it and it's super easy to fall into because a lot of people we bond over that because it's if we were both affected in similar ways or with a group of people or with one person, if you're both affected in certain ways by let's say another person or another group, then you bond over that connects you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also think when you're like judging someone internally or you like see something and you're like ew, then it makes you feel like not as bad about yourself if other people feel the same way. So if you're like ew, like I can't believe they would post something like that, and you go and talk to someone about it and they're like, oh, I know, like me too, then you don't feel like it's as bad or as big of a deal.
Yeah, you feel validated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
which
is a bad thing to be validated.
Yeah. Yeah. But.
Yeah. So moving on to the next thing is how do we avoid gossip? You know, I think and that's like one of the easiest, in my opinion, one of the easiest sins you can get into, because you don't need to, you know, like you don't need to hide it, like like you don't need to be alone in a room, you don't need to be like in a different area. Like this literally can happen like right here, you know, or like being at church.
And it seems innocent too, especially because everybody does it. So then you're just like, oh, well, we're just talking.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
No. Yeah, I think that definitely it's the ease is one of the easiest ones that you can do because, like I said, it kind of just connects you to people. Yeah. And so, for myself, how do I avoid gossip? The way that I avoid gossip is, I think a big part is choosing the people I'm around with, and also choosing how much I spend time with people, because especially at work, it's super easy to just talk about other coworkers and talk about like, oh, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? And a lot of the times, that's literally all we talk about, because it's especially when something big happens or something like that, and that's literally all we do as coworkers. And also because like that's like the only thing we do. And we bond on it and we bond about it, and that's it as well. And so I think for me, the way that I try to avoid that is like, especially when it's at work, I honestly I just leave the conversation. I just go, because luckily, and I will be honest, if we were all in the same like office area, like there was no doors or no walls between us, it would be really hard. Because it'd be really hard for me to just be quiet and not say anything. But where I'm working at is like a whole different area that I can just walk into, and it's just me, myself, and I in that office. And so if I feel like that conversation is going to something like gossip or that we're slandering somebody or something like that, I'll literally just leave. I'll just be standing there, and if I hear and starting to talk, I'm like, weep. And I just leave. It's funny because nobody even questions it. They're not, oh, where you go? And they're just keep doing their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I do. What do you do?
Okay, I kind of do two things. The first one, because for some reason as humans, if something bothers us or if someone bothers us, we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is, but we just do. So something that I try to do that actually helps a lot is if someone bothers me, I just talk to God about it. I'm like, man, this person made me so angry. And then I just complain about
That's
it
the
to
right
God.
way. Yeah.
Because then I feel better because I've talked about it, but I haven't. Because when someone, I don't think it's necessarily wrong to want to talk about something when someone hurts you, but it can be
Mhm.
dangerous to keep that conversation going because then it can turn into gossip.
Yeah.
So I first try to go to God about it and be like, this person hurt me. Like, what do I do? Sometimes I'll go to other people, but I just have to be careful about it. And if other people are like, oh my God, did you hear what this person said, or did you see what they're wearing? I'm like, no, and I don't really care. Like, I
Yeah.
try to just be honest about it and just be like, I don't want to talk about it.
Mhm.
And that can be really hard because people are really judgmental. And if you don't want to gossip, people are like,
Yeah. Why don't you
why
want
don't
to
you want to
gossip?
gossip?
That's like so
s-
weird.
Yeah,
Like, are you with them or
I
something?
know.
Yeah. That's
But I don't know. I just try to be like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. And I actually had a friend that I really admired because, if like a group of us ever started gossiping, she would just be like, "Guys, I'm feeling really convicted about this, and I don't think we should do that anymore."
Hey,
And we would be like,
where'd you find that friend?
"I know." We'd all sit there and be like, "Oh shoot,
Ooh.
you're right. We were
Oh,
gossiping."
my bad.
And so I try to do that and be like, I don't think we should be talking about this anymore, or this isn't right. And then, yeah, I don't know. That was like really cool that she would do that, and I think more of
Yeah.
us should do that because then it puts, at least for Christian people, because if you're not a Christian and you're like, I'm feeling convicted about this, people will be like,
What?
what even? Like, why are you talking to me right now?
What is
But
conviction?
yeah, but like around Christian friends, because all Christians gossip. That's just
1,000,000%.
all of them do.
It just be like that.
Yeah. But like it can be like if you're feeling convicted about it, tell them, because then they'll feel convicted about it. And they'll be like, oh shoot, you're right. Like I was gossiping. Like this is a real sin. And I feel like we, for some reason, as Christians, like dilute certain sins, or we're like, oh, it's not that big
It's
of
not
a
that.
deal.
Like it
there
could be
are
worse.
worse sins.
Yeah. Ooh,
Girl.
that's a whole other. Yep.
Yeah, all sins are equal, and that's not real. So don't try to make yourself feel better about your sins.
Yeah.
When... Anyways, that's a different conversation.
That's a really good point, though. And you also reminded me of something where, kind of going along with what you were saying about like talking to God about it.
Mhm.
I know I need to do a better job at that. And, not saying that talking to other people is bad. And like if someone hurt you or you're offended by something, doesn't mean you can't talk to other people. But I think you need to be wise on who to talk to about it. Because if you talk to somebody that's going to be like, yeah, they suck. Yeah, you're right. And then that's just going to build something.
Yeah, and
that's going to build.
It validates you too. Because if it's another Christian,
Exactly.
then you're like, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. I should feel that way.
Yeah, I should feel that way.
So I think choosing the right person, because choosing that person that will just like validate you and be like, yeah, you know what? That's true. Can be very bad.
Yeah.
So I think choosing a person to talk to that is I guess you could say a neutral person in a way,
Mhm.
or like a person that
Or just
won't
like a wise person.
just somebody who will just listen to you, because
Yeah.
that's just what you're supposed to do.
And
like,
then they can give you advice too. They won't be like, yeah, that person is a horrible human being and we should keep talking about them. They should be like, I'm sorry you feel that way, and I'm sorry they did that. Have you talked to them about it?
Yeah.
And
Wise in that sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I've definitely been that person, and I haven't been always the best at that. Because a lot of the times, if that person's talking to me about it, and I have a similar experience, or we bond over that, I'll become that person of like, yeah, you're right, he sucks.
Yeah.
But also, what I've been trying to do and trying to learn is when people talk to me about certain things, is at least for myself, one of the first questions I ask is, do you need me to just listen? Do you need advice? Do you want me to answer? And that's like the first thing that I say, because it's like, if they want to just vent, go ahead and vent. If they want
Yeah.
advice on what to do or they want help on what to do, then I'll give you help on what to do.
Mhm.
And that kind of changes it because it gives me a purpose,
Yeah.
or a goal. Because like if they want advice, okay, I'll listen to give you advice, not listen because, oh yeah, they suck, and yeah, blah, 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 you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Or if they want to just vent, then that's my goal, is to just listen and let them vent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I need to do a better job at that because sometimes, and I'm just being honest, sometimes it just happens where it's just like, yeah, we just bond over
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But so, sorry, I got excited. I get excited about reading James.
I
'cause
love James.
I know
Oh my god, it's my favorite. I think it's hard to pick a favorite,
it is hard to
book,
pick a favorite,
but it's
James is
one of
pretty
my
up there.
top 3.
Top 3s.
I think so.
Whew. Yeah.
Yeah, every time I'm like in a dry spot, I always go back to James, and it's so good. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so we're actually going through the first chapter of James in our beginnings Bible study. We're going to review it this coming week, but by the time you see this, it'll be like 4 weeks after, so don't worry about that. But anyway,
Yeah, we'll
um,
read
we're going to read First James.
First James.
Wait. James chapter 1.
I like First James.
James chapter 1, verse 26.
26.
Go ahead, Julie.
Sorry. If anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless.
Mm.
Hello from the future.
Hello. We are interrupting this episode because we do not know English.
Unfortunately.
And we said brittle instead of the correct word, which is bridle.
My bad.
So
That's my bad.
when you hear brittle, we meant bridle. Thank you.
Ooh.
Spooky. I don't know why.
What does brittle mean?
So brittle, the definition of brittle is to stop. It was actually, and I wanted to say this, but I can't pronounce the words. But so brittle in the Bible, it was actually based off 3 words in the Hebrew language that I can't say, and that I can't say because I just I probably should. Well, actually, Duolingo. Wait, we're doing Greek.
Are we?
Ooh.
Fun fact: Felipe and I were we were trying to learn the Greek language on
Man.
Duolingo.
I have failed.
I have not.
I know. I haven't been on in like almost a month. I'm sorry. I'll get back on it.
It was so
I'll
funny
get
because
back on
like the first day you were like, "Have you done it?" And I was like, "No," and you were like, "Get on it," and so I did, and then like you didn't do it ever again.
I did like 6 days in a row, probably. After that.
Anyways, sorry. About
Anyway, that was a side note. I am convicted now, and I will get back on Duolingo. Anyway, so yeah, brittle is to stop.
Okay.
And so, that last part, it talks about if you consider yourself religious,
that. Mm-hmm.
right? Which we've talked about this in the previous episode, where it's like religion versus relationship and
Mhm.
how there should be a good balance of both.
Yeah.
And so, the fact that it says like religion is worthless.
Yeah.
That-
Well,
Yeah.
hold on. I want to read that again
Go ahead.
without the brittle.
Okay.
If anyone thinks he is religious and does not stop his tongue, but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless.
Yeah.
For real.
For real.
For real.
I've read this chapter a lot because we're doing the Bible study too,
Mm.
and to me it's just a new thing because I never even thought about changing the word brittle
Yeah.
or anything like that, but that is insane.
Well, every time I read that, I'm always like, yeah, don't gossip. You know?
I thought you were gonna say something more.
That's it. And then I just
That's
move
it.
on, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Because then Because then, really, your religion doesn't mean anything if you. Because our whole goal is like, I feel like we've talked about this in previous episodes, but like the whole point of being a Christian is like to love, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like our whole job. And gossiping is like totally the opposite of loving people, because you can't gossip in a loving way. That's not.
Yeah.
That's not possible. Because like we said, like gossip is talking about someone in a negative way, tearing them down. And if we claim to be Christians, that means that we want to do everything in love. And if we have an issue with gossiping, then really your religion doesn't mean anything, because that's like the whole point.
Well, and also, now that you bring up the whole like, because gossiping is.
What'd you just say?
I said gossiping.
Oh, sorry. I don't know.
Gossiping, you're pretty much judging people.
Yeah.
You're like in a way exposing people.
Yeah.
But like not in like the way that we think about it. Like, you know how like in today's world, like if you expose someone, that means that they did something wrong or that they're, but you're like literally exposing a person for whatever it is that you're talking about. And like I said earlier in the episode, if the way that I gauge it is if somebody were to say that about me, would I not be offended? Would I not be hurt by them or betrayed? And that's like in my eyes, that's like one of the best gauges that you can say before you even say anything.
Yeah.
When you're talking to somebody or something like that.
Well, somewhere in the Bible, don't remember where. I'm pretty sure it's it's definitely the New Testament. I just don't remember.
That's
Could be
a lot
anywhere,
of books.
Really. But it talks about how if someone hurts you or they're doing something wrong, you need to first talk to them about it. Don't go to the other human beings. Talk to them first. And then if something doesn't change, then like talk to the head of the church or someone with higher authority.
Yeah.
But we like, you're not like, if someone gossiping doesn't do any good, it just creates more conflict. And if you're friends with someone and they hurt you and then you go talk to your other friends, that makes other people see them in a negative way. And then it creates like more conflict between other people, and then more people are involved that don't need to be. If you would have just talked to the person that hurt you in the first place, they probably don't even know that what they did is wrong, or it'll help them rethink their actions. And
I mean, it'll also help them. I mean, it'll help you realize that if they did it with a purpose or they didn't.
Yeah.
And it, at least for me personally, it's happened a lot where somebody offends me or somebody hurts me, and I don't go directly to them, and I start talking to other people, and then I eventually come around to talk to them, and they're like, "Oh, that's my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was doing that."
Yeah.
And that's it. It is like, it's literally
like it's that simple.
It's that simple.
And then you have all these other people involved, and it's not worth anything.
Yeah. And also the thing that I will say is a lot of people don't like confrontation, which I can understand. But a lot of people don't like. So they rather, because it makes them feel better to just talk to somebody else about it rather than just confront the person and be honest with them. Just be like, hey, you did this. This hurt me. So what's up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we'll get into James again because James is amazing. And we're going to go to chapter 4.
Chapter 4.
Verse 11 and 12. And so that says, do not speak evil against one another, brothers. The one who speaks against a brother or judges his brother speaks evil against the law and the judges of the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is only one lawgiver and judge, he who is able to save and to destroy. But who are you to judge your neighbor? Yeah. So, it's referring to God. Literally, it says, there is only one lawgiver and judge, he who is able to save and to destroy. Right. And a few episodes we well, I think it was the religion versus relationship episode where I shared a quote from Billy Graham, which this fits perfectly as well, because it's, you know, God's job is to judge, the Holy Spirit's job is to convict, and our job is to be like Jesus, and Jesus' job was to love.
Yeah.
And so we're not here to judge, we're not here to like convince people or anything like that. We're just here to love.
Yeah.
And so that verse is pretty.
Yeah.
Those two verses, yeah.
I feel like there are so many things that we do that we don't even realize are gossiping.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
like what?
like, like, I know a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
will be like, wait, sorry, I literally just like my brain just
Just blanked out.
blanked. I was gonna go somewhere. Give me a second.
I'll give you a second. Elevator music. Beep, 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 beep.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, go.
But they're like, I know a lot of people who will be like, ugh, did you see what this person posted? And then they'll talk about it and they'll be like, oh, well, Christians shouldn't be posting things like that. Or Christians shouldn't be saying things like that. And I'm like,
yeah.
I sit there listening and I'm like, Christians shouldn't be gossiping. You know? Or the other day, like these people I know were making fun of like something on TV, and it was like this person who was like singing. Like it was just like this little girl who was like, they just like stumbled across like something on TV. It was this little girl singing, and they were like, haha, like she has a horrible voice. I was like, why is this happening right now?
Yeah.
Like why, like we don't know this person. It's just a child. Why are we talking about this person we don't know? And even if we did know them, it's not our place. We're not here to judge. And what good does that give you to make fun of this?
Yeah.
Like what do you gain from making fun of people or from talking bad about people?
Literally nothing.
There's no good that comes from that. We have to, like you said earlier, we have to put ourselves in their shoes. Like would you like it if people were saying these things about you? Would you like it if you found out that your close friends were talking about something you did that you didn't even know was bad? Or I would wish that if they had a problem, they would talk to me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it might hurt. You might be like, oh man, like I didn't realize that I was doing something wrong. But I would rather them do that and then I can fix it than just have people that I care about talking bad about me all the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that what you just said actually reminded me something that happened at work not too long ago, where, so at work I sent some file in or something, and then I got a reply back, and the reply back was like, in my eyes, the way that I saw it was like a constructive, how do you say when like
constructive criticism?
Yeah, it was constructive criticism towards my work,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, like. I responded back like in a way of like, yeah, I want to learn how to do this so I can be better at this, and that was it. That was it. It was just between me and that person, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few days later, I hear I was in my office, and I hear in the other area people talking about, oh, did you see what this person said to Felipe? Like he was so mean and blah 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 blah. So I come out and I'm like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
And then my boss was like, hey, like come inside my office. He closes the door and everything, and he's like, hey, like I don't want you to take offense to what this person said, because he is like this and he's like that and he comes off like this and blah blah blah. And I was just like, what do you mean? I was like, I saw it as really good constructive criticism, and I even responded in a way of like, okay, yeah, like please let's set up trainings to do this so I can be better at my job.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, well, yeah, but like he's like this and like that, and I'm just like, I don't see the problem.
It's
you know what I mean?
People nowadays, for some reason, are so afraid of being offended. Like,
yeah.
which is just a normal part of life. And that's why like nobody can get along anymore if we have different views on anything, like politics or religion or even things that are smaller, like how you work or your personality if they're different. Like we can't get along with people anymore because we're so afraid of being offended. And then we just talk bad about each other, which is so sad.
Yeah.
And all those people were talking bad about that poor person when they were just trying to help you out.
Well, yeah.
Like, that's so mean.
Yeah, and I didn't understand because I was just like, you know, that's just what it was. It was his opinion. He's a person higher up than me that has a lot more knowledge.
Yeah.
So
he was trying to help you out.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, obviously, I'm going to take
so
it as
sad.
like, okay, I need to do better.
Yeah.
And so, but going back to the whole main idea of this is we're not here to judge, you know. We're here to love, and also and I think I've mentioned this before, maybe in a previous episode or not, but our tongues hold a lot of power.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm gonna sound like Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility, but it's true. It's literally true, because it's like our tongues can either uplift or destroy. Literally, you know what I mean? We have, and I feel like that applies to even people who aren't Christian. Like, whatever you say, if you have a place of authority or you have certain influence, that's either gonna bring somebody down or bring somebody up as well. You know what I mean? And so putting yourself in situations where gossiping shouldn't be done, or just literally just stepping away from that, is like the only way that you can. And also, I mean, if we get into social media gossip, that's a whole other thing where it's just like,
it's so easy to gossip and to be mean on social. Like, if you read comments on like Instagram Reels or TikTok videos or like whatever it is, like, it's like people are just so mean all the time, and about the stupidest things, like, you should change your shirt, and then like a million people will like the comment.
Like, yeah, you should change your shirt. Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Or like people gossiping about like whatever's like celebrity, like that's even a sin. Like talking bad about a celebrity, like how, like they're still people too. And so if we for some reason see people with like a high following as like less than human for some reason, and I don't understand why that's a thing, but but for some reason we do. And so we like to talk bad about like what they wore or the lyrics in their song or like
or their
relationships or like whatever. And or we like to talk bad about people who listen to this or watch whatever, like especially as Christians, we're like, oh, they shouldn't be listening to that. This person is this and this person is that, and this like that's gossip still. And we don't know their heart, and we don't know anything really about their personal life. And and even if we did, it's still gossip.
It's still not our place.
And it's not our place. And if you have a problem with it, bring it to God. And that's that's really it. Like if you have a problem with someone or something, bring it to God. Don't go spreading rumors or gossiping or just being mean, because that's really all it is. Especially like it's just gossiping is just being mean.
Amen.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So to end, we have our
cool
first questions. First of all, we want to thank Ninja Cat for commenting on our first episode.
Sorry it took so long for us to notice it.
Don't worry about it.
We'll get better at that.
Yeah, we will. Thank you, Ninja Cat. So, Ninja Cat's question was, what is a trope in media, whether it's book, movies, whatever, that you can't stand? And so Ninja Cat's answer related to both of us.
Yeah, that's what both of us were thinking.
Because their answer was about like it's pretty much like rom-coms, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like they're together or whatever, and then they see something, or the girl sees the guy see
Miscommunication.
something, and then the girl runs away and is so heartbroken, and the guy's like, oh my gosh, what happened? And then she ghosts him or
It's
whatever,
horrible.
and
a horrible
then
experience.
they come back together eventually, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've loved you so much.
It's almost like 5 minutes of the movie or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the very
Why is
last.
this happening? It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's so dumb.
Yes. So we agree with you, Ninja
We
Cat.
agree. That's the worst. That is the
literally the
worst
worst.
trope possible in media. Whether it's
Yeah.
a book or a movie
Yeah.
or
It happens in
whatever.
everything.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Ah.
So what's your trope that you?
Well,
can't
besides
stand?
that, I think mine. Okay, I have to explain because it doesn't seem bad at first, but I just read into things a little too much sometimes. Like I put myself in the main character's shoes, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this would be like a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's like a love triangle, but with brothers. So like Twilight, or
Oh,
the
yeah.
Vampire Diaries,
Yep.
or what's that one that I really like? Oh, The Summer I Turned Pretty, or like whatever. It's it just bothers me because like think about it, okay? Think about it,
I'll
right?
think about it.
Think about it.
Okay.
So, so you pick one, right? Because you're just
Yeah.
gonna. That's always how it works. Like, and you end up with one, and then you like this one, and then they don't like you back, and so then you're like, their brother's cute, and so then you just like go to the brother and lead the brother on, who for some reason had feelings for you all along, and that's just I don't even know
reason.
for whatever reason. And then once the other brother gets a little jealous, then you're like, okay. And then you go back to the other brother, and then you guys end up together. And then think about it. Family reunions, so awkward. That's so awkward.
that
That's
would be
so
super
awkward.
awkward.
And then when you're kids, you're like, oh, mommy, like, who else did you date?
Yeah,
and you
who-
awkwardly have to tell them that you dated their uncle. And that's so weird. And then, like, it just, like, ruins the relationship between the two brothers. And it's just going to be weird for, like, the rest of your lives.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that's pretty.
it just
bad.
bothers me. Anyways, what's yours?
Mine's similar, but
Okay.
in a way of okay. And I just started not just started because I'm in like the fourth season now, but I was watching Chuck, and it reminded me of so many other shows that is the same way, where like there's two people there, there's two people, and then they clearly like each other or
Mhm.
love each other and whatever, but for some reason they never get together. And they just like they date other people to distract themselves from other people, but every time they reconnect and they're
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, I love you. and then they never get together though.
Yeah.
And then it just
Well, that happens in so many TV shows and movies and
Exactly.
stuff. Like,
How I Met Your Mother.
yeah.
Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen How I
Spoiler.
Met Your Mother. It's like at the very last, spoiler alert again. In the very last area, like in the very last episode, Ted is like telling his kids of like, oh yeah, this is, and then they're like, so why aren't you with Robin? Like you clearly love her.
Yeah.
And take in mind, these are the children of not Robin. And he was like, and unfortunately, their mom passed away in the show, but these are the kids from not Robin. They're like, dude, you're like in love with
I
Robin.
know.
And then he's like, you know what? You're right. And then goes with Robin, and it's like,
It's
oh my
so
gosh.
dumb.
And it's just,
And then, like, and then obviously, like, the fans are always like, they want the two people together.
yeah.
And then they get, like, a little boost of adrenaline at the end. And then they never get to see the couple together. And it's
Yeah.
so annoying.
Yeah. it
Or,
is.
like, in Friends, spoiler, if you haven't seen Friends.
I haven't seen.
I know. It's freaking stupid.
My bad.
Anyways, but like Ross and Rachel are together and they're not together and they're together and they're not together and they're together and they're not together and they have a child together and they're not together. And at the very end of the show, they finally get back together. But for so long, they're like, no, it just won't work. But they they both admit
complicated.
like multiple times throughout like the show that they always hoped that they would get back together.
Oh
but
my
they never
God.
like act on it. And it's so stupid.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the
Anyways.
most annoying one.
I know.
Jeez.
There are so many tropes that are so annoying.
Yeah.
Let's just make better movies.
We're just gonna.
We should
We're
just make
rebuilding
one.
the media.
Yeah,
We're rebuilding the media.
we could do it.
Any producers watching, we got you. We got a lot of ideas. No, we don't.
Not
Anyway, thank you for being here today. Hope you guys had fun with us.
really. Hopefully.
And we'll see. We will see you next time.
Make sure to check out our merch.
Yeah, check out
merch,
our Instagram.
merch.
And
Check out our merch.
we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.